Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for letting me wave on as well. Michiganders care about cars, as you might expect, and care about trucks, pickup trucks especially. I want to better understand the Biden administration's thinking on vehicles. So, Mr. Goffman, just to kind of lay the foundational consideration here, I'd like a yes or no on whether or not you believe that all Americans should have access to reliable, available, functional, and affordable cars and trucks.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you believe any rules you are issuing should make cars less available, less affordable, and less functional for consumers and their needs?
No.
Then let me move on. Your testimony discusses new vehicle sales numbers. Could you tell me roughly what new car sales were 5 years ago and 10 years ago?
Off the top of my head, I can't.
Well, let me add to it, because being a car guy from Michigan, I have to know these type of things. 10 years ago, it was 15 million in sales. 5 years ago, it was 17.1 million in sales, vehicles themselves. Total sales peaked at 18.665 million in April of 2021. Your testimony claims that under your proposed rule, the number of new ICE vehicles will be slashed by close to half between 2027 and 2032. How many new EVs does EPA expect to be available and affordable for consumers to replace that cut?
Well, we expect that there to be enough EVs to meet demand and meet the performance standard, but
well, and I appreciate you saying we expect that, because it's certainly a guess, and by golly, what in the world it's going to be based upon what we're seeing so far, and based upon, you know, the Michiganians, Michiganders, whatever we call ourselves in any given time, expect and what we need. Under your proposed rule, will there be more cars on the road in 15 years or less when your rule is entirely implemented?
I don't know the total offhand.
But more or less, what would we expect?
More or less, we don't expect these rules. We didn't assume or premise these rules on any kind of reduction in demand for vehicles.
Well, between state and EPA requirements on the auto sector over the last 10 years, it's hard to say there has been no impact on the price of compliance, and that's got to have an impact on the number of cars that will be on the road. Can you tell me what the average price of a vehicle over the last couple of years, or how it's changed?
Over the last couple of years, no, I don't know that.
I set you up so I could answer that again. And let me tell you, the answer is that back in 2021, the reported estimated average transaction price for a light-duty vehicle in the United States was $37,876. According to Kelley Blue Book and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average new car price at the beginning of 2023 is $49,388. Will you commit, and that of the EPA, will you commit that this proposed rule is not going to directly or indirectly raise the price of new vehicles for consumers?
Well, what I can commit to is that between now and the time we finalize this rule, these proposals, we will be focusing on that issue and addressing it.
Oh, I hope you are, because my constituents need to know that. They need to understand that they're not going to experience what California has experienced. They don't want to have to leave. Well, if we do it all, there's no place to go to. There's no place to flee like Californians. Let me get to this question. Will your proposed rule reduce the number of affordable SUVs and small trucks?
I don't believe so. And certainly we will, again, address that issue, because one of the objectives of this rule is to ensure that vehicles or fleets that meet these standards are affordable.
I hope that's the case, but just to be sure this proposal doesn't cause problems for consumers, will you commit to inserting a regulatory off-ramp into the rural light and medium-duty rule if new vehicles either become more expensive or unreliable, auto choice or functionality is limited, or those cars are unavailable to American consumers?
Well, we anticipate ideas like that being raised in the comment record, and we will, of course, will consider them.
I appreciate that, and I hope it comes to fruition, because if it doesn't, my constituents' way of life is altered irretrievably. Thank you. I yield back.
Gentlemen.